She froze when the door creaked open at midnight. A shadow loomed behind her, heavy with the scent of alcohol and danger. "Sir, please, don't come closer," she whispered, clutching her night wrapper. But the man only smirked. "You think anyone will believe you over me?" Her trembling hand reached for the doorknob, but before she could scream, the hallway light snapped on, revealing her madam's stunned face. What followed wasn't mercy, it was betrayal. Within hours, her clothes lay scattered on the street, and her tears drowned in the sound of car engines fading away. Homeless, accused, alone. Yet that very night, as rain poured over the silent city, a stranger slowed his car beside her shivering frame. "Miss, are you all right?" he asked. His voice was gentle, but his eyes carried secrets of their own. And that's where her story truly began. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful story. Rain drummed against the tin roof like an unending cry from heaven. Anna sat curled beside the gate, her bundle of clothes soaked through, her breath visible in the cold Lagos night. Just hours ago, she had a job, a room, and the faint security of a paycheck. Now, all that remained was disbelief, the sharp, bitter taste of injustice she couldn't swallow. Her madam's voice still echoed in her mind. "Anna, I trusted you. My husband's wristwatch doesn't just disappear." Anna had pleaded, knees on marble, voice trembling. "Madam, I swear on my mother's life, I didn't take anything. Please, believe me." But Madame Ifeoma's eyes had burned with hurt, the kind that wasn't born from truth but from humiliation. The husband, Mr. David, stood in a corner, arms crossed, eyes cold and calculating. The same man who had cornered Anna in the corridor 2 nights before. The same man who had whispered filth into her ears and called it affection. She had thought confiding in Madame Ifeoma would protect her. Instead, it sealed her fate. "Thief!" One of the other maids had spat, dragging Anna's small box outside. "Madam said you must leave now." By the time she reached the main gate, the night guard avoided her eyes. The driver, who used to smile and offer her leftover food, now looked away. Shame was a cloak that fit too easily. Anna sank onto the pavement, hugging her bundle. Tears blurred the streetlights. Her mind raced to her mother back home, sick and waiting for the medicine Anna was supposed to send tomorrow. Her younger brother's school fees were due. And here she was, with only 2,000 Nigerian nairas left in her pocket and nowhere to sleep. She whispered through the sobs, "God, what did I do wrong? Why me?" The rain grew heavier. Her slippers floated down the gutter, but she didn't chase them. For the first time in her life, she felt invisible. Hours passed. The city that never slept moved on without her. Cars hissed through puddles, club lights flickered in the distance, and thunder rolled like laughter from above. At dawn, she found shelter under a kiosk near the bus stop. The wood smelled of kerosene and old newspapers. She pressed her wet wrapper tighter, shivering until morning broke. When she finally stood to leave, she realized her body ached from hunger. Her stomach rumbled, but pride wouldn't let her beg. She walked aimlessly through Yaba's crowded streets, avoiding the stares of traders and Okada riders who looked at her like a stray. By noon, she reached a small church compound. The gates were open, and gospel music floated from inside. Anna slipped in quietly, sitting at the back. The choir sang, "Way Maker, Miracle Worker." She closed her eyes, and tears rolled freely. "God, if you see me, please do something. I have nothing left." When the service ended, she lingered at the back, hoping maybe someone would notice. But people came, prayed, and left. The world didn't pause for her pain. That evening, she wandered again, following the smell of roasted corn and diesel until she reached a dimly lit street in Surulere. Her legs trembled with exhaustion. She found an empty wooden bench and collapsed on it. The city lights blurred in her vision. Just before she drifted into a half-sleep, a flash of headlights stopped beside her. She heard a car door open, followed by footsteps. "Excuse me, miss," a man's voice said gently. She startled, pulling her wrapper close. "Please, I didn't steal anything," she murmured, half asleep, half afraid. The man knelt slightly to her level. He was dressed in a simple shirt, not the kind of suit men wore to flaunt power. His voice carried concern, not judgment. "You're shaking. Are you all right?" Anna hesitated. I just need a place to stay tonight." He studied her for a moment, then reached into his car. "Take this," he said, offering a small umbrella and a bottle of water. "My name is Caleb." She stared at him, confused. "Why are you helping me?" He smiled faintly. "Because once, someone helped me too." And before she could say another word, he opened the passenger door. "Come. You'll catch your death out here." Anna looked up at the sky. The rain had returned, softer now, like a promise being rewritten. Her heart warred with fear and gratitude. Still, she followed. Inside the car, warmth hit her skin like a blanket. She hadn't felt that kind of comfort in days. Caleb handed her a clean towel from the back seat. "We'll get you some food first," he said. She nodded silently, unable to meet his eyes. As they drove through the city lights, Anna caught her reflection in the window. Eyes swollen, face pale, spirit cracked but not broken. Somewhere deep inside, a small flame of hope flickered again. And though she didn't know it yet, this night, the night she lost everything, was also the night heaven began rebuilding her life. The next morning, the scent of fried eggs and coffee filled the air. Anna stirred slowly, her body wrapped in a soft blanket she didn't remember lying under. The room was warm, painted in calm beige tones, and sunlight spilled through cream curtains. She blinked, trying to make sense of where she was. Then it hit her. She wasn't on the street anymore. The door opened gently. Caleb stepped in, balancing a tray. "Ah, you're awake," he said, smiling. "You must have been exhausted." Anna tried to sit up quickly. "Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fall asleep here." "Relax," Caleb interrupted softly. "You're safe. This is my guest room. Eat something first. We'll talk after." She hesitated before reaching for the bread. Hunger had stripped away her pride. With each bite, her eyes welled up. "Thank you," she whispered. Caleb sat across from her, watching quietly. There was something different about his eyes, gentle, but shadowed by memories he didn't speak of. "You don't owe me anything," he said after a while. "Everyone deserves a second chance, even when life doesn't offer one easily." Anna looked down. "But you don't even know me." "I don't have to," he said simply. "Sometimes, God sends people across our paths for reasons we don't understand yet." Those words stayed with her. Over the next few days, Caleb gave her space to breathe again. He didn't pry or ask questions about the past. Instead, he offered her small tasks, watering the flowers, helping his housekeeper, or assisting at the small community center he ran nearby. It was there, among children with wide smiles and scraped knees, that Anna felt her heart heal piece by piece. She laughed for the first time in weeks. One afternoon, she helped an old woman bake meat pies for the children's snack time. The smell of butter and spice stirred something deep within her, a long-lost joy. She remembered her mother teaching her how to bake sweetbread during Christmas, back when laughter still filled their tiny kitchen. Caleb noticed her eyes light up as she kneaded the dough. "You bake?" he asked. "Not much," Anna said shyly. "Just small things, but I love it." "Then maybe that's where your story restarts," Caleb said, smiling. The next day, he surprised her with a box. Inside was a white apron and a small recipe notebook. "Every dream needs a beginning," he said. "This one's yours." Anna's throat tightened. She couldn't remember the last time someone believed in her without reason. Within weeks, Caleb enrolled her in a short baking course run by a local NGO for women in need. At first, Anna felt out of place. Her clothes were simple, her confidence fragile. But as she mixed flour and sugar, her fingers found purpose again. Each loaf she pulled from the oven reminded her that broken things could rise again, just like dough. Caleb often stopped by the class with snacks for everyone. He never drew attention to himself, but his quiet presence reassured her. Still, she couldn't shake the curiosity. Who exactly was this man? One evening, as they locked up the center, she asked, "Sir, can I ask you something personal?" "Of course. Why do you help people like me?" He paused, looking at the sunset. "Because I was once lost too," he said. "My wife and daughter, they died 5 years ago. I spent months angry at God, drowning in guilt. Then one day, I met a stranger who told me, if your heart still beats, it means you still have purpose. Since then, I just try to give others what I was given, hope." Anna's heart broke quietly for him. For a moment, silence hung between them, soft and sacred. "I'm sorry," she said finally. He nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "Don't be. God gives beauty for ashes. That's what you're teaching me again." The following month, Anna's progress at the bakery class astonished her instructors. Her pastries sold out at every community event. Caleb, proud yet humble, helped her register for a government empowerment grant. When the results came, she nearly fainted. Her name was among the 10 winners. The grant money was enough to rent a small space and buy basic baking equipment. The night she signed the papers, she couldn't stop crying. She called her mother, who wept with joy. Her brother shouted in the background, "Sister, you did it. God don't do am." Caleb stood nearby, smiling. "See what happens when you refuse to give up." "Sir, I don't know how to thank you," Anna said. "By living fully," he replied, "and by believing you deserve good things." As the weeks passed, their bond deepened. Not rushed, not loud, but steady. They shared evening walks after church, laughter over burnt cookies, and quiet prayers during storms. Anna found herself drawn to his strength and humility. Caleb, in turn, admired her faith and resilience. One evening, he said softly, "You know, Anna, when I first saw you that night, I thought God was giving me another chance to do something right." She smiled, and maybe he was giving me a reason to hope again. Their eyes met. For a brief moment, time seemed to pause. Outside, the city hummed with life, but in that tiny kitchen, surrounded by the smell of baked bread and redemption, something pure was forming, something stronger than gratitude. It wasn't love yet, but it was on its way, and this time, Anna wasn't afraid to believe in it. The grand opening of Heaven's Crust Bakery drew a crowd that Anna never imagined would one day chant her name. Children from the community center ran around excitedly. Caleb's friends from church showed up to support, and even the local paper sent a young reporter to cover her story, the maid who rose again. Anna stood at the center of it all, dressed in a simple cream gown and apron. Her hands shook slightly as she cut the ribbon. "This isn't just my bakery," she said into the small microphone Caleb had insisted on renting. "It's proof that God can turn pain into purpose." The audience cheered. Cameras flashed. For the first time in her life, Anna didn't feel like a servant. She felt seen. When the crowd dispersed, Caleb handed her a bouquet of lilies. "Congratulations, Madam CEO," he teased. She laughed, her dimples showing. "Don't start calling me that, oh. I'm still that same village girl who almost burnt Puff Puff last week." Caleb grinned. "Maybe, but now you own the Puff Puff shop." The following months were golden. Business flourished. Customers lined up daily for her soft meat pies and coconut bread. Even Madame Ifeoma's chauffeur once stopped by unknowingly, buying a cake for his boss's daughter's birthday. When Anna realized whose order it was, she paused for a moment, then smiled softly. "Give her an extra cupcake," she told her staff. No charge. She had learned that forgiveness was the quietest form of victory. That night, Caleb joined her at the bakery after closing. They sat outside under the string lights, sharing cold malt and meat pie. The night air smelled of sugar and rain. "You've built something beautiful," Caleb said, gazing around proudly. Anna turned to him. "No, we did. You gave me the chance to start again." He shook his head. "All I did was believe in what God already placed inside you." She looked away shyly, heart pounding. "Caleb." He smiled, knowing her tone. I've been thinking. Maybe this bakery is more than a business. It's where everything changed for me, where I found peace. And maybe," Caleb said gently, "it's where I found home again." Silence wrapped them in warmth. Their eyes met, not in desperation like the night they first met, but in mutual strength and quiet love. Caleb reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Anna froze. "Wait, Caleb." He smiled, kneeling on the tiled floor. "Anna, the day I met you, I thought I was helping a stranger. But the truth is, you helped me remember why I was still alive. You brought light into my home again. Will you let me walk beside you, not as your rescuer, but as your partner, your friend, and your husband?" Her heart thudded wildly. Tears filled her eyes. "Are you sure?" she whispered. "I was just a maid once." Caleb's smile deepened. "And I was once broken. But look what grace can rebuild." The crowd of staff who had quietly gathered behind them erupted in cheers as she nodded. "Yes, Caleb. 1,000 times yes." They hugged, laughter mingling with tears. Cameras clicked again, and this time, Anna didn't shy away. The wedding was intimate, held at the same church where Anna had once wept at the back pew. Her mother, now healthy, danced with joy. Her younger brother walked her down the aisle in a crisp suit, proudly holding her hand. When Caleb slipped the ring onto her finger, the congregation broke into song. Months later, Anna stood before her bakery's second branch. The sign now read, "Heaven's Crust by Mrs. Anna Caleb." She smiled at the reflection in the glass door, a woman transformed not by luck, but by faith, grace, and the courage to keep believing when everything else had failed. One afternoon, as she arranged cupcakes in the display, a familiar face walked in, Madame Ifioma. The woman looked thinner, her once proud eyes tired. "Anna," she said quietly, "I heard about your success. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. My marriage ended last year. David, he cheated on me again." Anna took a deep breath. "I'm sorry you had to go through that." Tears glimmered in Madame Ifioma's eyes. "You're not angry with me?" Anna smiled gently. "I was, but not anymore. If I hadn't left, I'd never have found my purpose, or Caleb." The older woman nodded, ashamed but grateful. She left with a warm loaf of bread and a heart softened by unexpected grace. That night, as Anna locked up the bakery and looked at the glowing sign, she whispered a prayer. "Thank you, Lord, for every no that led me to a better yes. For every tear that became laughter." Caleb appeared behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. "What are you thinking?" She smiled. "Just that God really does make a way in the wilderness." He kissed her forehead softly. "And I'm glad he led me to you." In the distance, Lagos traffic hummed like music. Streetlights flickered like stars. Anna rested her head against his chest, the sound of his heartbeat reminding her how far she had come. From maid to mistress, from broken to blessed, from rejection to redemption. And through it all, she never stopped believing. Moral of the story: Anna's journey reminds us that no pain is wasted in God's hands. What looks like rejection may be divine redirection. She lost her job, her home, and her dignity, only to gain purpose, love, and peace. Every season of tears prepared her for a greater harvest. So, if life has pushed you to the edge, don't give up. Your story isn't over. It's just unfolding. Remember, even in the wilderness, God makes a new way. If this story touched you, like this video, subscribe to King's Folklore, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters.